Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into one of the biggest wins for modern medicine, immunizations. We're going to break down how exactly a vaccine can teach your body to defeat a disease before you even catch it.
So, let's get right to it. How can a tiny shot teach your entire body to fight off a massive disease? It seems kind of crazy, right? Well, the secret is all about the amazing defense system you were born with.
So first up, we're going to take a look at that defense system, your body's very own microscopic army. We're talking about the natural immune response.
Okay, so it all kicks off with identifying the bad guy, an antigen. Think of it like an enemy's uniform. It's this unique little molecule on the surface of a germ, like a virus or bacteria, that basically screams to your body, "Hey, I don't belong here."
And once your body spots that uniform, what does it do? It makes antibodies. These things are incredible. They're basically super specialized proteins, like custom-built weapons that are designed to lock onto one specific antigen, that one enemy uniform, and flag it to be destroyed.
All right, so here's the whole battle plan, step by step. First, you get an invasion. Then, your immune system detects that foreign uniform, the antigen. What's next? Your body goes into overdrive, producing millions of those specific antibodies. Then, the fun part. The antibodies lock on, and other cells come in to destroy the pathogen. But here's the most important part. Step 5, memory. Your body creates these special cells that remember the enemy. So if it ever dares to show up again, the response is going to be way, way faster and stronger.
Okay, that memory part, that is the absolute key. So the big question is, how do we get that memory without having to go through a full-blown, miserable illness? Well, that's exactly where vaccines come in. They give us a safer path to that exact same protection.
Right, so here's the critical thing to understand. A vaccine isn't the real dangerous enemy. It's more like a training exercise for your immune system. It's like showing your body's army a most wanted poster of the bad guy or letting them practice on a harmless training dummy. It introduces a killed, weakened, or even just a piece of the germ, enough for your body to see that antigen, that uniform, and learn how to fight it, but without actually causing the disease.
So really, you've got two paths to immunity. Path 1, you get sick. You fight the real infection, you suffer through it, and hopefully you recover. That can work, but man, it can come with some serious risks and complications. Then there's path 2. You get a vaccine. Your body learns to make the exact same antibodies, but from a safe, controlled exposure. You get all the protection without any of the danger from the actual disease.
Okay, but you might be thinking, if it's not the real disease, why do I sometimes feel kind of crummy after a shot? That is a great question. And the answer is actually really cool. That feeling, it's a sign that your immune system is working. It's doing its job. That soreness, maybe a little redness, or even a low fever, that's just your body's microscopic army running its drills and building up its defenses. It's temporary, usually only lasts a day or two, and it's proof that your body is getting ready for the real thing.
All right, now we need to talk about something really important. It's pretty much impossible to discuss vaccines in the modern world without addressing a major controversy, a study from 1998 that had a huge, lasting impact. This timeline really lays out the whole story. It starts in 1998, when a paper gets published in a major medical journal, The Lancet, suggesting a link between the MMR vaccine and autism. And, as you can imagine, it caused a huge stir. But what happened next is just as important. In 2000, measles was actually declared eliminated in the US because vaccination programs were so effective. Then, over the next decade, a mountain of research found no link. So, in 2010, The Lancet fully retracted that original paper, and its author was stripped of his medical license. Today, after decades of research, the scientific consensus is clear. There is no link. But that initial fear, that's been a lot harder to shake.
And, that history of doubt naturally leads people to ask a very fair question. So what's actually in the shot, and how do we know it's safe?
Let's break it down. This table shows the main types of ingredients and what they do. First, you have something called an adjuvant, like aluminum salts. Its job is just to kick the immune response into a higher gear, making it stronger. Then you've got additives, like gelatin, that just keep the vaccine stable and effective over time. And finally, preservatives, like formaldehyde, which are used during the manufacturing process to kill any unwanted viruses or toxins. Now, I know some of those words can sound a little intimidating, right? Formaldehyde? But here's the thing. It's all about the dose. The amount of formaldehyde in a vaccine is actually less than the amount your body naturally produces, and way less than what you'd find in, say, a single pear. So we're talking about tiny, safe amounts of things that are all around us.
And speaking of safety, look at this number, 10+ years. That's how long it typically takes for a vaccine to go from the lab to your doctor's office. Think about that.
more than a decade of super rigorous testing and retesting for both safety and effectiveness before it ever gets to the public. That's a huge commitment to getting it right.
Okay, so up until now, we've been talking a lot about how a vaccine protects you, but the story is so much bigger than that. Let's zoom out now and look at how this one personal choice can protect an entire community.
This is what we call herd immunity, and the idea is actually pretty simple. When a big enough chunk of the population is vaccinated, it creates this invisible shield. It makes it really, really hard for the disease to find new people to infect and spread. And that shield is absolutely vital for protecting the most vulnerable people in our communities. We're talking about tiny newborn babies, or people fighting cancer who have weakened immune systems. They often can't get vaccinated themselves, so they literally depend on the rest of us to keep them safe.
And this isn't just a theory. We've seen what happens when that protective shield gets weaker. Just look at this chart. In Britain back in the 70s, vaccination rates for whooping cough dropped. And what happened a few years later? A massive epidemic. 36 people died. It's such a powerful and tragic reminder that these preventable diseases, they're not gone. They're just waiting for an opening.
When you put it all together, it's pretty clear that immunizations are just an incredible public health achievement. They take our body's own natural genius and use it to protect not just one person, but everyone around them. It really shows what's possible. Which kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. If we can do this, if we can work together to beat back diseases that have haunted humanity for centuries, what's the next big challenge we can solve together?